Only because I am a non-actor, that's why I am an actor. This automatic living is at the heart of understanding.
Why are we caught with this feeling of doership?
If you really look, no, then you will get the idea.
Yes.
See, I was making bhindi ka sabzi. Like the cobra was slithering up and I was slithering out. Tuck, it stood up. What I have seen in the universe, there is only light. We are all enlightened.
So when this role came to you, how did you think of playing this role? Why do you always run away from interviews? Huh? All mainstream media, newspaper guys, channels, podcast channels. But why is it that you always run away from them and don't like to give interviews?
Not a run away.
Yeah.
Why I don't give interviews? A run away would be like I'm scared of it.
Yeah, almost on the verge of running away,
No, I don't run away. My point is that do we want to talk nonsense or do we want to talk something intelligent, something sensible, which is not only of substance and food for the listener, but also interesting and challenging to me.
Yeah, so nonsense means?
Nonsense means what happened, how that happened, when you were born, what's your name.
Yeah, I know the obvious things.
You are actually gossiping, not talking, not really having two human beings having a conversation, can be revolutionary. All the great minds in the world, may it be Karl Marx, may it be Buddha, there were two people who were sitting under a tree or on top of a mountain,
having a heart-to-heart conversation.
And having a conversation, and from that, sparks were coming out, and those sparks changed the world, brought humanity forward, and things like that.
Means precisely, I can say that don't ask questions which you can see in the website. You can just read
it's like
website,
somebody asked Einstein, what is the speed of sound?
Yeah.
So he said, I don't know, you can read it in the book. And I don't memorize such things which you can read in the book.
Yeah, obviously.
That's my
it
answer
makes a
to
lot
it.
of sense. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, now, see, normally people know you as the one who played Ramanand Sagar's Krishna, or you played Shankaracharya, or whatever, Many people take you to be a preceptor, guru, etc., etc. How do you see yourself? You describe yourself. What are you?
I am the sound of silence.
Wow. Right.
Which is also the light of consciousness.
So, like, when did you
Sound and light are not two different things. Light, when it becomes slow, becomes sound. Sound, when it becomes fast, becomes light. So therefore, that silence which is lit, it has a sound, not separate a sound, but the light itself has a sound. So therefore, silence actually has a sound.
Yeah, so you can say they are very intertwined. Sound.
Not intertwined, they are one.
One. Sone lume.
It's like water and waves. They are the same thing.
So, like, when did you first discover this about yourself? That because you always say that there is one book which has always fascinated me, and that is The Outsider. And I have always seen you living like an outsider, a very non-conformist person, and who doesn't conform to any rules, doesn't like to be bound by rules. So, like, when was it exactly the first time that you realized that you are an outsider, or, as you say,
No, if you want me to explain what's an outsider, you have to tell me who's an insider. I think everybody is an outsider. We are all outsiders. And we are only acting as insiders. But the fact that you are acting as insider means you are an outsider.
Yeah, you have to elaborate on this. You have to elaborate. Like, normally, like people feel that whoever is conforming to a rule, getting married at the right time, listening to parents, doing a job, following
See, I'll give you a simple example.
Oh.
The first thing that comes to me. Only because I am a non-actor, that's why I am an actor.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay?
All right.
Only because I don't play football, that's why I play football. Only, you see?
Yeah.
So, to do something, to get into that, means you were not doing it before. So, consciousness is a movement. Anger, hatred, love, attraction, repulsion, whatever. Okay, it's a movement. And we are becoming aware of that movement in us, actually. It's a very strange thing which people have not really thought about. Nobody thinks. I don't think. People think I'm thinking, no? But you're asking me questions and I'm thinking. I'm not thinking. It's the consciousness which is responding. It's the brain which is responding.
So is it insight? Some sort of insight?
Not insight. This question that you are also asking is also coming automatically.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, for example, just now if you and me are talking and suddenly something bites you. So, you're going to respond with that and say, cut this, whatever. So, you are...
So responding to every situation correctly.
Responding to correctly, not correctly, fully, halfly, whatever. Okay, you don't know what you are going to do. You don't know what this expression which you gave just now like this. Did you know before?
No.
So
it came.
So therefore,
but then,
we have misunderstood life by the main thing that we have misunderstood is that I am doing something.
Yeah.
You are asking questions. It's not like that. We have put the cameras, we have sat together for an interview. Now you just know, you have this intention of asking questions. The intention creates action.
Yeah. But then there is one you have confused action and one is an action full of clarity.
So because your intention is not clear. Suppose you are asking me something and I am saying, first switch off the camera and then I will speak. Okay. So I have, to me, these cameras are something which are capturing me, this, that, So the moment I start thinking from a self-centered point of view, I distort reality. You see, the reality is that there is just two cameras. Okay, that also we are saying the cameras are there.
Yeah.
There are two, these rectangular thing. There is that lady sitting, two glasses. There is this, that. Nothing, nobody is doing anything. Even the cameras are not doing anything. They are just switched on, the electricity is flowing through them, it's their job to record, they are recording automatically. So this automatic living is at the heart of understanding. This is the heart. If you have understood that you are automatic, then finish. Then you've got it.
Yeah. But this makes a lot of sense. Actually, it makes a lot of sense.
Not makes a lot of sense. You grew this hair.
No, but
you made this nose.
Absolutely.
What? Tell me one thing.
Then, why are we caught with this feeling of doership? Like, why are we caught? Normally, if you ask, I can't take you as an example. I will take maybe the cook as an example. Somebody who's washing my utensils as an example. They are all the time caught in their, mind, and they are. So
not
why
all the time caught.
Mostly.
They are normally caught in the beginning when they begin to act. Then they are little self-conscious, and towards the end, in between when they are actually doing, they have forgotten.
Yeah. Yes.
See, I was making bhindi ka sabzi.
Yeah, that was interesting.
No, I was making bhindi ka sabzi, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking at the bhindi and I said, "Arey, this bhindi is so hard. you know, and they're asking me to make, and they are obviously expecting that I'll make something good. The
You
first thing is
accepted the
buy
challenge.
good bhindi. So what I'm saying is, when you look, this is, I always stress this, it is a very simple idea, simple thing, but people don't understand this. Okay, that idea, the meaning of the word idea comes, the root meaning of the idea is to see. So we are not seeing. If you really look, no, then you will get the idea what to do. Okay, and this is exactly what happens in acting and things like that, or any work. You are making a computer, okay, or you are setting a vehicle right, or you are making a building, or you are wearing your dress, anything.
Yeah.
Okay, if you
Very
look,
true.
if you listen, and if you look, these two things, okay, your brain gets all those vibrations as input and then responds
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that is beautiful.
Which means you are telling that if you look at something completely, wholly, with complete attention, you get the answers. My question is, for a normal, confused mind, is it even possible to look at something wholly? That means you're talking about being in attention. This is my question. This is how,
If you look at the world around, okay,
yeah,
the way our politicians are, the way our
nobody is looking.
literary guys are, the way
Yeah.
our intellectuals are, the way our so-called great artists are, I think nobody is looking and nobody is
seeing, nobody is looking.
Everybody wants to give their opinion.
Yes. That means precisely you are asking somebody to live a life of meditation. You mean?
No,
being aware
just
all the
live
time.
like how small kids live, how animals live, how birds live.
Yeah, in attention.
This is a normal.
See, I have seen when I am sitting quietly in so-called meditation, that word I negate.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
okay. I see squirrels coming to me. So they are perceiving that you are sitting silently, and that there is one squirrel which has nibbled my thumb twice. So once it nibbled like really. I said, wow, it's going to bite. So the second time I moved it away.
Yeah.
Then birds come.
The samba?
All animals.
Right.
Forget that. I have seen the sun respond to me. The sun, the moon, the sun, the stars, they also respond. You see, this is another thing which we can talk about, that we think there are things which are dead and things which are
living
alive.
and non-living. Yes, we'll come to that.
It's nonsense. Even the door, is conscious. Might be less conscious, but it is conscious. And there have been situations in the history of yoga in India where gurus have said to tell the door open, and it opened.
Yes.
And
One
there
thing
is
I have also read,
one guy who was in somewhere near Pune. He told the wall come, and the wall came.
Why Sant Gyaneshwar also, I think.
I'm talking about that. What I have seen in the universe, there is only light. There is no door, no house, nothing. There is only light. This, what you are seeing, this outside thing, is just a very thin cover on that light. And to us, this looks so real.
Okay, wait. Then let me ask you this very specific, precise question. I know it. You have told this to me hundreds of times, that at the age of 36, you got that enlightenment, I don't know what this word means.
We'll come to that question later.
Yeah.
What about the other question?
Okay, then because this is what I want to ask you. Okay, let's begin from the very beginning.
See, I'll tell you one thing. We are all enlightened, partially or not partially, because you cannot refute the fact that there is only light. You cannot.
Yeah.
That light is only acting in a child, in a snake, in a tree, in a leaf, in a stone, in an atom, in an electron. Okay. And some have it more, some have it less, some have covered it with all kind of conditioning and fear. But even such people, can have moments of enlightenment.
Yes. We all,
and that's why we say, "Hey, wow, what an intelligent thing she said."
Yeah.
You know, that was when she was like calm, and from the center she spoke.
Yeah, or something came to me in a flash. Okay.
So it
okay.
can happen to anybody, and that's why the real thing is listen and see. And when you listen and see, the thing that I want to add is normally in society, how people listen. Hmm, 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 hmm. This is not listening. This is, you are saying as if you are agreeing to what I am saying. This is needed if I ask you, do you want this glass or this glass? Then you can say,
Absolutely.
But if I am saying this glass is made out of, this material and it is cut like, what is the point of saying to it? Yeah. You know,
What it is? The problem is when we are kids, we are said that you
are
are not at
told.
school, you are not responding if you are not saying that means you are not listening
That
properly.
is because the teachers themselves are dumb. They don't know what listening is, and they are just passing on that wrong habit to you. And this is what our parents do. They pass on their fear to each other. They pass on all kinds of things to the kid, and the kid is like an open slate. He is helpless and he absorbs everything. And then they say, oh, the son has become like the father. Obviously, he'll become
Yeah,
like the
obviously.
father.
Very
So all the
obvious.
time he's focusing on him,
Okay.
So which means what? Which means if you focus on a buffalo, you will become like a buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you focus on Shiva, you will become like Shiva. If you focus on booze, you will become like the booze. So therefore your consciousness, it is such a beautiful thing. Your consciousness is like a blank sheet of paper. You can put any mark on it and you can throw out all the marks.
Absolutely. Okay. So tell me one thing of how were you as a kid? And what was the first time that you touched that divinity or that light, or you felt something which as a kid you felt this is something else?
I'll tell you,
And-
I'll tell
yeah.
you, give you an answer, it will shock you. As a kid, I was exactly the way I am now. Exactly. Full stop.
But then something happened to you, one episode, if you would like to share it with everybody. When
See,
you had that.
one thing as a kid I can tell you, that I was born without fear.
I was about to ask, have you ever experienced fear?
No, I experienced fear for the first time when I was in 7th or 8th standard, and I had gone for a little shoot in which something happened and somebody was behind me. Okay, and when I was crossing earthen, what do you call that?
Made is like
Like a bank.
Embankment.
Between two pieces of field, like farming field, you have a thing which divides, a divider, like made out of mud. So I was like trying to go up, and from that side came a cobra. Okay, and the cobra was like cobra was as much shocked as I was.
Yeah.
Like the cobra was slithering up and I was slithering out. Tuck, it stood up and I also stood up, and I was looking at the cobra eye to eye. The cobra was just so close. Okay, and its tongue was a beautiful rose red. And I said, wow, and we were like so close, and I was looking at it like this, and it was looking at me like this.
Yeah, but how did you feel?
Till then, there was no this thing. Then suddenly the thought came that what about this man who was, with me? He was an elderly person. So when I turned back, he was a fat guy with such a big stomach, and he was not running; he was flying in the air. A guy who can't walk properly, he was flying in the air. So obviously, he was like struck with fear.
His fear transferred.
And that fear first time transferred in me, and I realized, oh, this is fear. That was my first and last experience of fear.
No, one question.
Yeah, but what about?
That fear?
But
That's what we-
Because I had no fear, I felt that, it came like this. It actually leaps into you.
But what about fear of failure? Like failing in a film or
Those are different kinds of fear.
but
See, fear So what do you want to ask actually?
Do you have any other kind of fear like?
Now I don't have. But earlier, when I was in trying to do some work in the Hindi movies, I was extremely cautious not to do a wrong movie, a wrong thing, a wrong step. So that later on, I would say, oh, because of my wrong choice, I created a failure for me. Also, I not much, but whatever little offers I got, I said, this is again a very big subject, I was not a regular guy, who was like trying to really make it in film.
Right. Even an outsider in films.
Even now, like I am into yoga, I am not trying to make it in yoga. So many people who are, wanting to become so great in yoga and there's that, and they have made these empires. I have not. I just built a small little thing here. Few people come. So to me, this wanting to make it, it's an inner poverty, inner fear, inner sense of indignation.
And incompleteness. You have a
that
sense
feeling
of,
that I am an idiot. I am
that
this
you are
thing.
incomplete.
And if I make it, the world will really kiss my feet.
Yeah. It's an ego trip. You can say it's more than
ego trip.
Yeah.
So therefore, I was not really so interested in commercial cinema because it used to irritate me when I would see bad films. Some people have made some good cinema in Hindi movies. Some people have made. But so I never ever sought work. I never went to a producer and asked, sir, give me work. So whatever came to me was fine, and most of the things that came to me,
Yeah. So good cinema as per you, like.
Now I'm getting some different kind of work.
Very good ones.
But see, even now I don't seek.
Don't seek.
No, I never seek. I never sought friendship with women. I never sought money. I never sought fame. Though I knew was there, it was coming, it was there. Fame, I really laugh at the idea of fame. There is no such thing as fame. There is only that you do some good work and people respond. And that, depending on the depth of your work, that response can last for 1 month, or 100 years.
100 years, obviously.
If you write a Upanishad, it will last for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
If the words come out from Buddha's mouth, they will last for Buddha also said 5,000 years, whatever I'm saying, it will affect human consciousness. If a word comes out from an idiot and he abuses you, it will affect you.
But only for a fleeting moment.
Half an hour.
Right.
So it depends from what depth you have created your thing and how true it is. That becomes art, and that throws light into the life of people, whoever consume it. Yeah. It's like making laddus of light. Art is like making laddus of light and throwing it to people, whoever eat it, boom. They get some.
So that means real art is something which elevates you, How do you put it? Like, what do you think is real art or real cinema? Means, what would you say is like, oh, this is good cinema, or this is how cinema should be?
You're jumping.
Your answers would lead to the questions. I don't want to come out with anything which is very really prepared.
See, basically cinema is the activity of a camera or the ability of a camera to catch movement. It can be a sound movement or a light movement, so it's called son et lume, sound and light. Now again, in that movement, you can write a Gita or you can write Sita or Gita. It's like cinema is not different from life. Like in life, you have all kinds of characters and all kinds of situations. So cinema is a recording of life mixed with imagination. Sometimes, actually what you call imagination, there is no such thing as pure imagination. All imagination is a reflection of reality.
It comes from life.
If
Yeah.
I have seen a glass, then I can think of a million glasses. I can think of a room of glass. I can think of a glass house. I can think of a man who's like a glass. Okay, but if I don't have glass in my consciousness,
Yeah, it's not possible.
So therefore, I can multiply, reduce, divide, create designs, add color, add smell, add taste, add this thing. Just like how you make food, like how I made that bhindi ka sabji. Is bhindi, and then I decide I will make bhindi masala. So bhindi masala is one cinema. Then bhindi fry is another cinema. Sukha mutton is one cinema. Biryani is another cinema. Salad is another cinema. Russian salad is another cinema. Sweet dish is one cinema. A mixture of all that thali is one Hindi movie. Okay, and South Indian movie is a biryani thali. So
Chicken biryani.
with food and taste and color, the same thing is with emotions and things like that.
Right.
And how you make a dish is how you make a script.
Okay, so coming to your first film, Adi Shankaracharya. Now, we have read about Shankaracharya's philosophy, Advaita and all. But very less is known about how Shankaracharya really was. In fact, very less. So when this role came to you, how did you think of playing this role? How did you think of playing Shankaracharya?
My question was, what is enlightenment? This is it. I hate the word acting because acting means to pretend.
When you begin to do a role or something, especially with Krishna, something just comes and you do that role.
The director says 3 words. He says sound, he's saying rolling, camera, and then he tells the actor, action. That word action would bring an action in my being. And meditation or the realization of truth is nothing but an inner action without cause. And the whole thing would leave my body. Oh,
What is the purpose of life? How do you take this question?
kindly subscribe and share our videos.